Hey, quick question. Have you ever tried tickling yourself? Go on, give it a shot. Notice anything weird? Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't work. But have you ever stopped to wonder? Why not? You see, humans can build rockets, write symphonies, and create AI. But tickling ourselves? That's where nature drew the line. Scientists were curious too, so they did what scientists do best. They studied it. And guess what? The reason why we can't tickle ourselves tells us a surprising amount about how smart, and sometimes annoyingly predictive, our brains really are. Our story starts deep in your brain, with a region called the cerebellum. Think of the cerebellum like your brain's personal fortune teller. It constantly predicts what's about to happen next. When you move to tickle yourself, the cerebellum sends out a spoiler alert, warning the rest of your brain, hey, nothing to get excited about here, just you tickling you. And here's the interesting part. Because your brain knows what's coming, another region called the somatosensory cortex, the place that processes touch, lowers the volume on the sensation. It's like your brain saying, calm down everyone, false alarm. So when your own hand touches you, it just feels boring. But now imagine someone else tickling you. Your brain doesn't see that coming. It can't predict someone else's moves. So the sensation hits you unexpectedly and intensely. This unpredictability lights up your brain, especially your anterior cingulate cortex, the emotional part, and voila. Laughter, squirming, and all that wonderful ticklish chaos. Want to hear something even crazier? Researchers thought, what if we could trick our brain's predictions? At Humboldt University, scientists built robotic tickling machines, no joke, and discovered something amazing. By simply adding a tiny delay between your own movement and the tickling touch, your brain suddenly can't predict it anymore. And just like that, you can tickle yourself. But hold on, why does tickling even exist? Is it just some strange evolutionary prank? Actually, tickling, especially the deep, laughter-causing kind called gargalesis, is believed to help build social bonds and trust among mammals, including us humans. It's nature's playful way of connecting friends, family, and even playful animals. There's also something deeply human about this. Our inability to tickle ourselves isn't just about fun. It's linked to how we perceive ourselves. In certain conditions, like schizophrenia, the brain's prediction mechanisms can become disrupted, and some people actually can tickle themselves. This gives scientists vital insights into how the brain differentiates self from others, helping us understand deeper questions about human consciousness. And did you know mood matters too? Anxiety or stress can dampen your ticklish response. So the next time someone complains they're not ticklish, maybe they're just stressed or secretly tickling themselves. From Aristotle to modern neuroscientists, the simple act of tickling has sparked endless fascination. Through tickling, we discover the impressive predictive capabilities of our brains, learn about our emotions, and explore the fascinating mystery of what makes us human. Scientists have dived deeper into understanding this intriguing tickle phenomenon through some groundbreaking experiments. One pioneering researcher, Sarah Jane Blakemore from University College London, conducted fascinating studies using advanced brain imaging techniques, like functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI. In her experiments, Blakemore discovered that when participants tried tickling themselves, there was noticeably less activity in two key areas: the somatosensory cortex, where our brains process physical touch, and the anterior cingulate cortex, which is central to experiencing emotional sensations. But interestingly, the cerebellum, the brain's great predictor, was hyperactive, effectively dampening the sensation before it even arrived. This internal prediction is known scientifically as sensory attenuation. Our brains generate something called an efference copy. Think of it like a blueprint for every movement you make. When the sensations from your movements match that blueprint, your brain knows it's just you. It filters out these predictable sensations, allowing us to focus on unexpected external stimuli. But here's where it gets fascinating. When researchers introduced a slight delay, less than 1 second, between the self-tickling action and the sensation itself, participants suddenly felt ticklish. In fact, studies conducted at Humboldt University in Berlin, used robotic tickling devices to precisely measure how delays disrupt the brain's predictive powers. They found even a tiny time gap could trick the brain into perceiving its own touch as external. And it's not just humans. Researchers even discovered that rats exhibit a similar neurological response to tickling, showing laughter-like vocalizations when tickled by researchers, but not when grooming themselves. This cross-species similarity underscores just how deep-rooted this phenomenon really is, suggesting an evolutionary purpose behind our ticklish nature. There's also an important clinical angle. For individuals with schizophrenia, research has shown they might sometimes experience self-tickling as ticklish. Why? It appears their brains may struggle to accurately predict sensations from their own actions. Studying these cases gives us critical insights into how our brains differentiate between self-generated and external experiences, further deepening our understanding of conditions involving altered perceptions. Researchers have even explored tickling in dream states. Scientists, including Jennifer Wint, studied lucid dreamers who reported whether they could tickle themselves while dreaming. Surprisingly, dreamers often experience self-tickling sensations that felt just as genuine as being tickled by someone else, challenging our traditional understanding of consciousness and sensory processing. What these extensive experiments reveal is that tickling isn't merely a fun quirk. It provides an extraordinary window into the complex predictive machinery of our minds. Understanding why we can't tickle ourselves unveils profound truths about sensory perception, self-awareness, and the fascinating interplay between expectation, reality, and emotion. So, from ancient philosophers pondering human nature to neuroscientists peering deep into our brains today, tickling remains more than just laughter. It's a doorway to understanding ourselves better. Thanks for journeying with Queri into the amazing science behind tickling. If you enjoyed this curious adventure, hit subscribe for more fascinating explorations. Until next time, stay curious.